Thanks again, Abhishek, for the opportunity. So, what I will do is I'll talk very briefly about the markets, the economy, India, the US, then talk about the large cap presentation, and then do a Q&A, or you can stop me any point of time. So, Abhishek, in terms of time, how much time do we have? So, I'll just time myself.
So we'll try and speak about the markets for India and the globe, let's say in another half an hour or so, followed by 15-20 minutes of questions and the Q&A round. So probably an hour, we'll wrap it up in, let's say, 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay, yeah. So I'll do speak for about half an hour, covering both the markets and the large cap presentation, and then we have interactive sessions, more of a discussion rather than a presentation per se. Uh, so, as you know, is it okay if I speak in Hindi? Hindi English is okay, or
Yeah,
should I
absolutely.
stick?
Let's have a mix of English and Hindi for everyone.
Perfect, great.
Absolutely fine.
Yeah, even I feel comfortable. I'm from North India myself, so I can't help it because English becomes a English anyway. तो जैसा हम जैसे देख रहे हैं कि मार्केट में लोगों के दिमाग में जो क्वेश्चंस हैं दो तीन सवाल आ रहे हैं वन क्वेश्चन टिपिकली जो लोगों के दिमाग में है कि फ्रॉम मार्च टिल नाउ लास्ट 6 months actually there's been a bit of a correction in the recent week or 10 days, but overall the market has done very well. And not only in India, globally also, the markets have had a very good run, 45-50%. In India, mid cap and small cap done slightly better compared to the Nifty index, which is the large cap index. Whereas actually, if you see the businesses themselves, while they are gradually recovering, this is not obviously running to full speed. So this dichotomy among so-called Main Street and Dalal Street or Wall Street, as it were, that is one of the questions people have as I talk to investors, distributors, and so on. And likewise, the same situation is there in the US as well. So how does one read this situation and how do we see things moving on from here? Uh, this time when the crisis hit, one big thing, I mean, we don't actually realize it now because it's already been 6 months. One big thing has been the very sharp and meaningful stimulus by the central banks and governments. So normally in the past financial crisis, last financial crisis jab hua tha, in 2008, 2009, when there was the global financial crisis of the GFC, what happened was that the central banks brought down rates over a period of next 12 to 18 months. Dheere dheere karke they brought down the rates. The governments did not do much. The governments actually did not do much work because all the central bank had done the heavy lifting. This time, both legs, the central governments, I mean in the world, US government, the Japan government, or the European government, or Indian government also to some limited extent, have also gotten into that, and the speed has been very fast. In the first 2, 3, 4 weeks, actually, we don't have this present in that presentation with slide, but it's a very interesting slide I have seen. Between March to May of this year, there were something like 52 or more than 52 announcements by central banks and governments in terms of what steps they are going to take. So that has been, the speed has been very sharp, and the scale of, if you look at the size of the balance sheet of central bank, be it the US Fed, be it the Reserve Bank of India, be it the Reserve Bank of India as well, the speed has been very meaningful and the quantum has been very, very meaningful. So the central bank balance sheet has grown by 65-70%. That is the first thing that has happened, that has brought down panic jo hai, that initial panic was there in the investors, that brought down the panic, which is why the sharp rally happened. Because people saw, investors could see that the authorities will not let panic spread in the market. So that itself gave a big relief. So there was a big relief rally initially. और उसके बाद there was news flow on vaccine, gradual opening up of markets. So all that sort of helps the markets rally as well. Here we are at this point of time, we can see 3 or 4 main trends globally in the market. One is Uh, in terms of, see, when the COVID happened, all companies, be it large company, mid-sized company, small-sized company, everybody had a problem. Everybody had a problem. But as you come out of COVID, and we are more towards the end of COVID than the beginning of COVID, right? So what we are seeing is, probably in the next 1 to 2 quarters, 3 to 6 months, there should be a vaccine likely. At least then 40 candidates are under testing. Probably 1 or 2 vaccines should certainly come out. We are seeing the spread of COVID. The gradually number of cases are coming down. We're still at a very high level, but very slowly, gradually, number of cases are coming down. Fatality rates are slow. So pandemic seems to be, I'm not saying under control, but we are seeing the beginning of it gradually coming under control. So that is what we are seeing. And news flow positive on vaccine hoga, some cheezon pe there'll be a positive news flow there. So we spoke about the central bank and the central government in action, which has brought down the panic in the market. And one way, I don't know if you track, but there's something called the volatility index. इसको VIX कहते हैं. So that measures the implied volatility जो है market में, जो indices में implied volatility होती है. तो वो 65-70% चली गई थी, and it has come down to 18-20%. So normally it is in the range of 10-11-12%. So it is a sort of panic indicator. What is the sense of discomfort or panic in the market? So it is markets are more stable. So it just tells you that we have not reached levels of 11, 12, 13%, but still we are at much lower levels than we had reached earlier. Uh, Thirdly, so what we are saying is that as all companies went into the COVID with problems, as you come out of COVID, the larger companies are coming out better. तो जब ऐसे धीरे धीरे कोविड हम बाहर निकलेंगे, तो जो बड़ी कंपनियां हैं, they have actually gained as a result of the COVID. Now why is that? पहली बात तो they had already, उनका जो balance sheet strength थी, the kind of debt they were carrying on their books, they had more moderate levels of debt compared to a mid-sized company or a small-sized company, and they were stronger. And also what happened during the COVID time, a lot of say banks could borrow from reserves. India में TLTRO operations थे, wherein banks could borrow from the Reserve Bank of India and lend to companies. So it was actually meant for mid-sized, small-sized companies who were not getting debt. But the first tranche था, वो पूरा almost 100% जो tranche था, वो large बड़ी company को ही गया. Because banks were careful about their money, they were skeptical about lending to small-sized companies. So mid-sized company or large and mid-sized companies actually benefited. So as the COVID is coming, as we come out of COVID, we are seeing a more polarization happening in terms of favor of large-sized companies. So that is something that we are already seeing. It is not the polarization as it happened 2 years ago, कि जब जो निफ्टी में 10 स्टॉक थे वही चले थे, ऐसे नहीं है. पर जो बड़ी कंपनियां हैं इस साल, जो अगर हम मिड 23rd-24th मार्च से अब तक देखें, तो मार्केट लास्ट वीक तक करीब 45-46% ऊपर था. निफ्टी जो निफ्टी 50 स्टॉक्स हैं, उसमें से एक्चुअली 26 स्टॉक जो थे, 50 में 26 स्टॉक जो थे, they were up by more than 46-47%. So it is well spread rally, but the larger companies have actually benefited. That is one big theme that we are seeing, and I think they will continue to gain because they could support their vendors. Large बड़ी कंपनियां हैं जो distributor हैं, अपने distribute support कर सकते थे. They gave them working capital facilities. So all of those things that they could gain. So large company, and that is not only true in India; it is around the world also. If you see Wall Street, if you read Wall Street Journal, the same thing has happened. That is, the funds which came from the US government have gone a good chunk. I wouldn't say all, but a very good fraction of that has gone to the larger sized companies. Just 1 minute, I'll just take this. Yeah, sorry. So what had happened was, so large companies, so that's the third trend that we are seeing. So we are seeing And there's a lot of support from the governments and the central banks to companies. That's the first piece. The second piece is the panic has gone down. As a result, large companies are getting better, and we are closer to end of the COVID situation. So from that, and finally on the valuation side, so what we are seeing on the valuations in India, be it the US, I mean, India maybe 2021 के earnings, so they are all over the place. I mean, companies, difficult to see companies how they will be for 2021. But if you look at FY22, the valuations in the range of say 18 or 19 times. So they are not cheap, they are not 11, 12, 13 times, but we are around 18 and a half times. So that is reasonable valuations for the markets as a whole. So valuations are supportive. We are seeing incremental improvement. Large companies are benefiting. So broadly, overall, जो finally जो क्या है कि जो bond deals है, जैसे which is tied to the what central banks and governments have done. So around the world, India may be, US में 10-year bond yield is 0.6, 0.7%. In India, the 10-year bond yield is close to 6%. I mean, in that range, 6 to 610, 590, 610, in इस range में चल रही है. So the bond yields are low, which means the alternative equity is a good alternative. So overall, what we are seeing is that the markets are, we have already, but having said that, there's already been a good run in the markets. So probably we are not going to see a great performance, a moderate equity performance with low volatility. तो ऐसा नहीं कि मार्केट P multiple 24, 25, 26 पे है कि it is at a risk कि अगर see what happens in the market is you can always see any day can be 5, 7, 8, 10% fall in a week's time. It is quite possible. But will it be permanent? It will be a permanent fall or a long-term fall. So market valuations are very expensive. When the market P multiple is say 28, 29 times, it actually is not. Market P multiple, if you look at consolidated FY22, we are 18 to 19 times. So उसमें कुछ stock महंगे हैं, some stocks are not so expensive, but so any fall that can happen is not going to be a permanent fall. Finally, I mean, how I put it is that if I put in the equity markets today, I may look like a fool for 2 or 3 months. हो सकता है कि मैंने invest किया, उसके बाद market 8%, 10% गिर सकता है. I may not look very smart, but if I invest and if I hold for say 3 years, 4 years, I will not look like a fool. That's the point. So when the market is so positioned that it should give me reasonable gains. We are not seeing a very cheap market. You will see super normal gains from the market. No. But we should see gains. There's a long-term market का performance रहा है 12, 13, 14% इस range में रहा है roughly. So we should be similar sort of performance we are likely to see from the markets at this point of time. That is how we are positioned. So rather than me giving a talk, Abhishek, we can open a Q&A on the markets and talk about the US markets also, anything, and then we can have this presentation. So that will be more interactive.
Yes, Rajat. Well, let's start with the Q&A. So we have compiled a Q&A from the investors. We've spoken to investors in the past, and whatever queries they have, we've kind of combined it together. And so, first question is that, as you rightly pointed out, and I will also, use both Hindi and English as a language here, but as you rightly pointed out that, this time, if you compare this time with financial crisis of 2008, so a lot of people compare it because of the similarities of the fall. But in 2008, it took some time for the markets to fall and then regain momentum. But over here, if we see March, April, we're sitting in panic, and June, July, we were, celebrating a lot of profits in the portfolio. So somewhere investors के दिमाग में और हम सब के दिमाग में ये रहता है कि ये जो rise हुआ है market में, is this a permanent rise या फिर एक superficial rise है जो कि अभी गिर सकता है और काफी बुरी तरह गिर सकता है. When we're talking about 5-10%, I think investors के लिए 5-10%, I think for equity investors 5-10% is a fall which they can expect, right? They are aggressive in nature. But if we talk about fall of let's say 30-40%, so a lot of people are now a little थोड़े से they are thinking कि ये fall whether ये fall आएगा नहीं आएगा, क्या ये rise market का superficial तो नहीं है, just backed with liquidity, because numbers तो बहुत खराब आ रहे हैं economy के. तो मतलब if you talk about US markets, if you talk about any economy in the world, we are at a negative double digit, right? Almost double digit. Some are at single digit negative. But so, what's your take on that? I mean, as an investor, what should I do today?
Sure. No, I think, the key, what I hear from you, should we see a 30, 40% fall, permanent fall? I don't think so. See that, I mean, the June quarter was totally one-off. I mean, that kind of, when the economy is shut, when all companies are, there's no transport, there's no production, and minus 20, 25, 30% is not surprising given that. So actually, if you see for the full year, the sense for the growth for India is about -8, -7, -8, -9% in this. For the US economy, it will be -3, -4, somewhere in that range is what people are talking about. So it is nowhere, this -20, -30 was a one-off for the month of, for the quarter. And yes, gradually things are recovering. You see the data. I mean, yesterday we saw this data for GST at a slightly better. So gradually data is becoming better. And so I can certainly, I mean, I can rule out, I think that 30, 40% for permanent fall, I doubt very much. You may certainly see a 5, 10%. I mean, for example, the US elections, which is a big event. So what happened, there are two things we have to, as investors, distinguish. A fall caused by an event, which is a short-term event, is not a permanent fall. It's a permanent fall when the economy itself is not supporting you. When earnings are uncertain, it's a permanent fall. अब हो सकता है कि elections में there's uncertainty. Mr. Trump says, I will not concede. There could be, civil unrest, things of that nature. It's possible that you may have some short-term volatility around that. But are we seeing the economy going to a situation where it remains at -3, -4, -4, 5%? No, we don't think that's going to happen. Ultimately, it'll be a good buying opportunity. These event-created falls are good buying opportunities because once the event is behind you, the market resumes its earlier pace, which is more economy linked. So I would not. So I think as investors, we have to distinguish. So as investors पूछते हैं elections आ रहे हैं, should I be on the sidelines? Actually, it's a great time to invest. If it's an event, it's a great time to invest because once the event is behind you, market goes down. I don't think we'll have this permanent you get percent fall, but I think every dip is a buying opportunity. It's more of a buy on dips market than sell or rallies market. That is my reading today. But having said that, we can't get ahead of ourselves in the sense there is still, I mean, consumer demand is certainly moderating, are a problem. A lot of companies, mid-sized companies do have a challenge. So are we seeing it won't be one of the best markets, but will be a good moderate return market dunya mein, around the world. I mean, we will not see those great returns from equity, but equity will still be the best performing asset class. Equity will still be the best performing asset class, but not the kind of returns we have seen in the past. That's the point I would like to make.
Correct, Rajat. So I agree with your point. The point as financial advisors, also we keep on advising our clients to, invest at every dip, and every dip is an opportunity. So as an investor today, you rightly, as you answered the question, we can probably rule out a 30-40% kind of a correction from here. But another query is कि जब economy चल ही नहीं रही, right? अगले 4 quarters, let's say economy नहीं चलती या फिर moderately चलती है, moderately negative होती है, तो पैसा कैसे बनेगा? How will I make money and decent money? Let's talk about even a CAGR of not very optimistic, but a CAGR of 8 to 10%. But if I am a investor today, वो भी कैसे बनेगा जब economy ही इतनी negative है, right?
सही बात.
और ऐसा नहीं है कि काफी सारे सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट इन बिटवीन बट काफी सारे सेक्टर्स रिकवर हो गए हैं, बट अभी भी वी आर नॉट एट अ वर्स्ट स्टेज जब सब कुछ बंद था लॉकडाउन के टाइम पे, बट अभी भी डिमांड काफी सारे सेक्टर्स में इम्पैक्टेड है. लाइक लोग डर रहे हैं इस चीज से, लोग बाहर नहीं आ रहे हैं, डिमांड अगर एक बिजनेसमैन, एक छोटा बिजनेसमैन 100 रुपए का प्रॉफिट कमाता था या 100 रुपए का रेवेन्यू कमाता था, आज वो 20-30 रुपए ही कमा रहा है, एंड दैट इज अ रियलिटी विच इज देयर. तो इन्वेस्टर्स का ये सोचना होता है कि ये इसमें पैसा कैसे बनेगा. सो व्हाट डू यू हैव टू से ऑन दैट?
Yeah, I think, that's a it's very comprehensive. It's a very good question. See, one of the answers, how I look at it, you look at the market. See, the market actually is usually the best parts of the economy are in the market, because the companies which are strong, they get listing, and the companies which are doing better, the investors prefer them and they become large. So you see, Reliance has become now 15 lakh crore. So some such, market cap company it has become. The large companies have become so disproportionately the companies in the market. Yes, absolutely what you're saying is correct. Especially the services sector, jo hai, restaurants hai, movie theaters hai, entertainment parks, all of them. I mean, they are the worst part of the business. They have been really, really hit very, very badly. However, if you look at the market, so the best parts of the economy are there. Services part of the economy is a relatively small part of the market. So how many, movie exhibition, yes, is not a big part of the markets. If you see the eating out, so there are a few restaurant companies and all which are listed, but they are still a small part of the market. So the ones who have been hit very hard are not an important part of the market. So the ones which are dominating the market are companies which have not been hit. So consumer staples, abhi bhi agar dekhe to 8, 9, 10%, not a very high level of growth. It's difficult to also get very high level of growth. So your nominal GDP is 8, 9, 10%. I grow at 12% per annum. That's amazing compounding. Staples continue to do well. Two-wheelers actually continue to do reasonably well. We will see some part of passenger car market continue to do well. So unfortunately, it is an unfortunate thing for the market. For the economy, some parts are hurt, but they are not an important part of the market. So we have to divide our, thinking. So the winners, which is actually, as a citizen of a country, I should be worried. As a citizen, I am worried. So those people, the mom and pop stores, the small businesses, but they're not there in the market. The winners are there in the market. The gainers are there in the market. And I'll give you an example. Even look at airlines business, which, is very badly hit. Okay? We were doing, I think, about 1.2, 1.3 crores passengers at the peak per month. Abhi we must be doing 40, 35, 40, 45 lakhs passengers a month totally. Our peak kharab hai. But abhi bhi ab dekhoge, the one company doing the best in stock, people ask, even I ask, why is that holding up? Because the company, people realize that company will be the winner. Ultimately, World company will be the winner. Hai na? So we are seeing that. If you look at movie exhibition business also, see one company is still doing better. Why is that? Ultimately, that company will be the gainer. So, there'll be a polarization. So people, unfortunately, some small people have become weaker. Some bigger people have become stronger in this. And this is across large cap, mid cap, small cap, all. So because, why is that? Because the financiers hain, jo bankers hain, wo skeptical hain. Because उन्होंने इतनी मार खाई है अपने lending में, they don't take any more chances. जहाँ पे थोड़ी भी risk लगते हैं, उनको पैसे दिया ही नहीं उन्होंने. A company which needs money but is not in a good shape is not getting money. So they're lending money to people who are already strong. So stronger are getting stronger. But so which is there in the market. So which is it's many things put together. Which is why, so if you try to disaggregate the market, this is the learning I take.
Correct. That's a valid point, and very nicely put that some companies will tend to gain out of this situation. Let's talk about a sector which is hit by this, and it has a significant proportion in the economy also, Rajat, which is the banking and the financial sector. Now, this crisis overall, so अगर हम crisis की बात करें, अगर businesses impacted हैं, अगर salaried लोग impacted हैं, उनकी salaries cut हो रही है, और साथ में आप जो स्टिमुलस पैकेज है गवर्नमेंट का, जो गवर्नमेंट ने 3 लाख करोड़ का स्टिमुलस पैकेज दिया है एमएसएमईज के लिए, विच इज बैक्ड बाय गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज ऑफ कोर्स. बट अगर इन दोनों एस्पेक्ट्स को साथ में रखें और ये देखें कि ये हो सकता है कि एनपीएस और बढ़ा दे government sector, so not just government sector, but any banking or financial sector के लिए. तो आपको what are your take on this particular sector, because this is important for the economy also, and in Nifty and Sensex also it has a decent percentage, right? The banking sector. So what do you have to say about that?
It's become so strong. It's a very large sector. Not only are banks, private banks, public banks, NBFCs are there, asset management company, insurance company, many sort of companies are there. Must be around 35 to 40% of the benchmark if you add all of them together. So the markets cannot do well unless there's a backing up of this sector ultimately. So far, actually, they have, one of the reasons we are positive on the markets also is because BFSI has not done well. If you see from March to now, they have underperformed despite that the market has done so well. So that leg, वो leg तो चला ही नहीं अभी. अब उसमें क्या है? उसमें भी again the same, we spoke about polarization, same thing is happening. Now who has raised money? But for HDFC Bank, which has not raised money, HDFC has raised money, Kotak Bank has raised money, Axis Bank has raised money. All the big ones have become stronger. पहले क्या था? If you go back 2 years ago, what was happening? There was a balance sheet problem and there was a profit loss account problem. Balance sheet problem because bad debt was an issue. But even if a bank did not have a balance sheet problem, it could not grow because it did not have capital for growth. मेरे पास capital ही नहीं है, मतलब मैं grow कैसे करूँगा? इन लोगों ने capital भी ले ली है. HDFC main has also raised capital. HDFC Bank doesn't, but they can raise capital anytime that they want to raise. Won't be a problem for them at all. So likewise, जब NBFCs हैं, जो NBFC backed हैं corporate houses से, as just example, say Mahindra है या Chola है, these are companies which are backed by corporate houses, and you see the business. I mean, how the market is treating them. There are other NBFC which are actually quite strong. They are on rural areas में focused हैं. उनकी पहले clean up कर चुके हैं. Size is quite small. 15,000, 20,000 crore की asset book है, छोटी है, but they are quoting at 0.3, 0.4 time book. These people, say Mahindra हो या Chola हो या जो stronger banks, are quoting at a multiple of more than one time. The market is distinguished. Yes, everybody will have a problem, but these guys have the capital to surmount that problem. They have the capital to surmount the problem. And finally, if you see, you compare a bank which has a corporate book versus a retail book. इसमें दो चीजें होती हैं कि always market participants trust when a bank says मेरे इतने NPA हैं. If a bank has a corporate book, people will not trust that number. अपने आप की evergreening करी होगी. What is it that they have done? We don't know. But if a retail bank says NPA, people trust that number. He won't do evergreening then retail, right? थोड़ा बहुत होगा, it won't be severe. So people trust that number. Achha. So gradually, so anyway, that's why the price to book, price to earnings for retail is much better. So people have no problems trusting that number, and they are more granular. So all these banks are more retail oriented. There's been no corporate demand anyway. So overall, BFSI will have some challenges, but the winners, again, there'll be even more the winners. The whole PSU space, which is but for a very large, say, State Bank or Bank of Baroda, usko chhod karke, they are all trading at 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. Will they change? They will not change. I mean, that's not going to change. So again, you have to focus on few banks and NBFCs.
All right. Now, coming to the distinguishing between let's say the large cap, the mid caps and small cap, and the recent SEBI verdict that has come in, from multi-cap for the changes in the multi-cap segment. So how do you see the large cap, mid cap and small cap performing in the coming future, given the fact that it has been, let's say, I'll quote it as bad years for small caps. The last 2 years mainly has been bad for the mid and small caps, where they have not delivered, and I think it's the longest bear run, you can call it, in small caps and in mid caps. We've seen Nifty small cap from 9,500 to come down to as low as 4,000. So What's your take on the large cap, mid cap, small cap, and what will the new SEBI verdict on multi caps impact all of these? How will these impact all of these segments?
Yeah. So um, actually, two parts to your question. I'll come to the SEBI thing in a bit.
Yeah.
See, for an average investor, for a regular investor who wants to be in equity markets, his core portfolio has to be a large cap or a large and mid cap. There is a place for a small cap, there's a place for a pure mid cap, but they are side dishes, if I can put it that way. The main thali has to be the large cap and the large and the mid cap, right? You can't, if you're a pure equity investor, you can't have 70% in small cap and mid cap. People make that mistake कि क्या अच्छा लगता है, मैं large cap में small cap में डाल दूं, मैं mid cap में डाल दूं. No, you can't swing your average that much. Large cap 60 है, large cap को 20 कर दो, small cap में 70 कर दो. I wouldn't advise to anybody. Even my portfolio is in mutual funds only, but I don't have that distribution. I have a small cap in my portfolio, but it's a limited part of my portfolio. So I know it will do well. It has done very well. Actually, I have no complaints. This is my own small cap fund, which has actually been a very strong performer. So कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. But I know it's 10% of my equity or 50% of my equity. That is the space for that. So, because when I travel, people ask, कि large cap अच्छा लगता है कि mid cap अच्छा लगता है कि small cap अच्छा लगता है. तो are you अच्छा, चलो मैंने कहा small cap अच्छा लगता है. Does it mean I'm going to take out money from large put into small cap? You'll be a fool if you did that. You'll be a fool if you did that. If you make large cap only 20%, put 17 to small, and something happens small, it won't look very good on your portfolio. So, you should not make those big changes. That's why asset allocation is very important. Asset allocation is very, very, it's good to answer this question, but if you are thinking I'll make a big change, don't. I don't think people will also make those big changes.
Correct.
So, okay, now to your question about, so large cap, actually last 1 year, small caps are done quite well in the last 1 year.
Yeah.
I know my own small cap fund we launched in the month of May. And it actually has a decent performance, good track record. It has done very well.
I think the last 1 year has been superb for the small cap segment.
Yeah, exactly. So they had a very bad time coming into the last 3 years. Last 2 years were very bad for them. 2.5 years were very, very bad times for them. They were actually very expensive. Valuation premium was expensive. सब कुछ था, वो सब ठीक हो गया. And more people have learned lesson. Quality matters, be it large cap, mid cap, or small cap. See, ऐसा नहीं कि small cap में quality नहीं है. You see, there's a difference between buying momentum and buying small cap. Small cap doesn't mean momentum. Small cap लोग tip लेते हैं, tip क्या अच्छा लगता है वो ले लो. यार, you should not do that. If I'm talking about individual investors. यार खबर आई है, WhatsApp आया है, कुछ आया है, वो ले लिया. Oh, that is not small cap investment, momentum investing. So you have to see a good small cap which will also do well, but it will be more volatile, 100% be more volatile. But if you bought a tip stock, that company probably won't survive for next 3 years. Forget about making money. So that is, people confuse small cap with momentum. So it has to be, you have to differentiate that. Your thinking has to be clear. Small cap is good. It is more volatile, but only if you're not doing momentum investing.
Correct.
So that is, so now on the SEBI circular. On SEBI circular, actually, the way what SEBI said, make 25, 25, 25 in mid cap, small cap, large cap. Really, I think the option is people will switch. I think very few funds who are already high in small cap may probably look at it. Most funds will, of course, AMFI has proposed a flexi cap strategy. Even if SEBI doesn't listen, which SEBI will not likely not listen. So then people will switch to other category. They'll merge into a large or a mid cap or something of that kind. It's very unlikely. लोगों ने trade किया कि small cap चल जाएंगे because of this. If small cap will do well separately, but not because of the circular. I'll tell you the two big names. We know the one fund is 28,000, 29,000 crores. One fund is 20,000 crores. दो बड़े fund houses हैं जो कि बड़े-बड़े हैं. उनके पास small cap इतना कम है. The day those two guys come and say we are not doing, and they cannot do, most likely they will not be able to do. The day these two guys come and say हम नहीं करेंगे, ये खत्म हो जाएगा. So we also saw money into our small cap. It's a tactical trade, but actually it will not happen. Most funds will actually switch into larger mid cap or change the categories. they will not implement. This will be difficult for them to, it's not correct also to implement. Look at the benchmark. The S&P 5, the भी कह रहा है कि आप 25% रखो, which is not correct. So when you look at the proper bench, the 500 is the diversified index. उसमें large cap is 70%, mid cap must be 15-17%, बाकी small cap है, 8-10% small cap है. So you can't say कि I'll force you to put 25, which is actually high risk. So when investors come into a diversified portfolio, you can't force him to go to a more risky portfolio. So I think people will generally switch. Very few funds will, I think, take this route of.
Yeah, I remember when this, I think, circular came in, immediately, I think the next day, the small caps just jumped by about 5% on that day, just by the announcement of it. But good to know your thoughts on that. Now, I'll just separately ask all the investors to put in their questions in the chat window also. I'll take those questions also by the time I'm discussing with Rajat the few questions that we have. I request all the investors to open their chat windows and type in anything that they would like to ask. We'll take those questions from the chat window as well. Coming to the global markets, Rajat, what do you feel about the US elections? That's a hot topic right now. This year, I think there are mail-in votes which have to come. So a lot of speculations about that. Trump saying that he might not take this a loss in this particular elections. So what do you feel will happen because of these elections? Because there is a story in the market that these elections, on the election dates also, we might not have a clear winner, and this can go to court and turn a bit messy. So what's your take on the US elections?
Yeah, no, I think certainly we will not have a winner on the election date because there are mail-in votes. So it may or may not go to court, but certainly because of the number of mail-in votes that people are going to have, on that day certainly will not have it. Probably will take a week or so before the winner is actually known. So that is certainly something that is going to happen. So yes, there will be a lot of volatility around that time, which is a good thing. I mean, probably if there's a substantial volatility, it makes the markets more attractive. So only thing is, normally before events like the election in India also, we have seen before elections, normally volumes go down. Investors don't want to take fresh positions. So that generally happens unless there's a clear winner. No, people take large positions then. But generally volumes go down a bit, and then after election people become more active. It has been so, but ultimately elections have an impact in the near term. So if you get a say 5 or a 7 or 8% correction, it's a good time to be investing in the US markets at that point of time. Because ultimately the markets reflect earnings and economy, which we don't think is going to change it. I mean, if you look at the difference between the two presidents, the two candidates, it's about taxation, how they're going to tax. But I don't know if you remember, people are thinking Biden will raise taxes, but American tax rates for companies used to be 40%. They used to be 40, and Trump has brought them to, I think, 25 or something. Even if Biden takes them up, they don't go back to 40, they'll be lower than 40. Actually, they're still lower than where they were, even if Biden takes them up. In terms of how the behavior toward technology stocks is, both, I think, Republicans and Democrats are, even now, they've been questioned. And again, there's a talk, they will again question social media. CEOs of social media, of Google, Facebook will again be questioned by the Congress. So that will continue. So overall, the economic policies, they will be more about wealth distribution policies in Biden, certainly more focus on healthcare. That will be a bit like Obama, and the markets did well in Obama's time. So I think ultimately it'll go back to being economy, but this volatility will be, and this year is a big year because Senate is also up for grabs. The representatives also are also there as well. So it is a meaningful election, but it will, at the end of the day, still short-term volatility, but it will extend longer. Normally it extends over by the 10th of November when you have the results, but this time it will be slightly longer than that.
All right. So, good part of being an investor today is, I can sit in India and invest in anywhere in the world, right? So I have all the options. I can invest in India also. मैं US में भी invest कर सकता हूँ. I can invest in Europe also. I can invest in China also. So what, according to you, according to you, which economy will come out of this sort of a negative, degrowth faster, and where should I put my money today? Let's say today I have some money to invest. Should I stagger it across the globe? Should I focus in India? Should I focus in US? What should my strategy be?
Yeah, we have seen in the past that the US economy has been the most resilient to uncertainty. It has come back fast. Why? Simply because of the free markets. I mean, it is the inefficient companies die. They have the best people in the world come and work in the US. It's the hub of innovation. Silicon Valley is the hub of innovation. So many things work in favor of the US. And that's no different this time around. I mean, if you've seen, despite mistakes by the political establishment in terms of fighting the COVID crisis, Europe has done better in terms of fighting the crisis. But despite that, the US economy is still doing reasonably well. I mean, everybody's doing badly, but US still doing relatively better compared to other economies. So I think that it's a good time to be in the US economy. US companies dominate the world, technology companies dominate the world. There's staples companies, be it Procter Gamble, healthcare companies like Abbott or Johnson Johnson or Merck or Pfizer, they dominate the world. So they're not only, first of all, the US companies are not purely US companies in that sense. I mean, they're getting their earnings from around the world. Say Microsoft gets its earnings from around the world. Facebook gets its earnings from around the world. So does, say, Google. So all of these companies are global companies. They have a global footprint. So so I think if you invest in a set of US companies, you are doing well. So actually that gives me should I talk about the large cap fund now? I mean, we have some time, so I have a
Yeah.
presentation.
Yeah, absolutely. You're coming up with your fund also. Interesting fund. I think you're investing both in India and US. So just tell me about what's happening in Principal Large Cap Fund.
Yeah, so we'll just have so I won't go through the entire presentation, but the big thing is that, Dharmendra, if you can just put that on. So while the presentation comes on, the point is that, see, Indian economy has been doing well, among the fastest growing economies in the world, but India is only about 3% of world GDP. So there's a big opportunity set outside of India where you can invest. The US GDP is the world GDP is around 90 trillion, 85, 90 trillion dollars next term, that means. So the world GDP is about 90 trillion and US is about 20 trillion roughly. Now this year will be slightly lower because it has shrunk. But overall, the US is the biggest GDP in the world, almost size of European GDP. So you have this, and we all investors in the world, not only Indian, all investors have a home bias. So all my investment is in the Indian companies. So there's a worthwhile to look at global companies as well. So we are launching this large cap fund, which is investing in the large cap fund. Dharmendra, next slide. So I am investing in the large cap companies in India. The next please. The large cap companies in the US. So it's a mix of both. So we have 15% of the portfolio will be invested in the large cap companies in the US. 85%. Yeah, previous slide. It's okay. Yeah. So 80-85% will be in Indian large cap companies. Now the point is, these are some of the sample size companies. Before that, आपने देखा होगा, there's an IPL slide if we just went by. But basic point is, as IPL, maybe there are 4 foreign players allowed. It is a mix, and they also contribute to the performance of the team. It is like that. So I have an Indian large cap here. We have the global large cap also. It's like an IPL team. You're getting the best players wherever in the world to play with you. So strong Indian companies, for example, some companies are listed here, strong global companies. So sitting in India, you can invest in those companies. These companies are the best of both worlds. Next. Dharmen, next slide. Yeah. Okay. So जैसे the portfolio में, and the third source of the one is that Indian large cap, second is US large cap, and third source is जो Indian rupee है compared to the US dollar has depreciated around 4 to 5% per annum over a long period of time. So of course, some like this year, for example, last 3 months, you see it has become stronger. It went to 77 rupees. Now it is close to 74 rupees. But if you see 1 year ago, it was 70. So 70 it has become 74. So you got a 5% depreciation, which is also help added to your, I mean, can add to your returns if you invest in the US companies. So we'll have around 50 to 60 companies totally in the portfolio. And out of which around 15 stocks will be in the US large cap companies. You'll have 35 to 40 stocks in Indian large cap company. And the way we will manage, आगे धर्में next. We'll just go straight, हाँ इसी में, हाँ ठीक है. So the US large cap company है, उनका जो market cap है more than $50 billion के plus market cap, उसमें around 160, 170 companies in the US are available. Or the advantage of adding the US large cap is that the volatility, because of diversification, the volatility of the portfolio goes down because US market, Indian market, they move in different directions. They have different factors driving them usually. So say if you have a different, it's like buying two stocks in your portfolio. They bring down the volatility. So next slide. Yeah. So the standard deviation, the standard deviation you have portfolio, that becomes lower. You gain on returns, you may gain on returns, and certainly the volatility of the portfolio goes down. So that is the advantage of having the US part of the portfolio also in this fund. Next. So this, I mean, as a historical, हमने going back to in the last 10 years, what has been the value of adding, because the US markets have given a lot of value because they've done so well. So if I invested purely in Indian large cap, I got a return of say 2.18, 2.2 crores. And if I invested along with Indian large cap, the US large cap for 15%, say 85% in Indian large cap, 15% in US large cap, that's the kind of returns that I got. So that's the advantage of investing in the US. And next, we'll skip. Next. Next. Yeah, next. Sorry, previous. It goes very fast. So, okay. So, how we are investing in the US? So, हमारी parent company है Principal Financial Group. They manage $500 billion of assets. उनके पास $180 billion US equity में manage करते हैं. So they manage in the US large cap also. So we are taking their advice and their research in building the portfolio for the US piece. Of course, fund management हमारे पास रहेगा. We will decide what stocks to buy, but we'll be getting research and advice from the principal financial. Yeah, sorry. So the kind of stocks that we are going to buy, as I said, we'll have around 15 stocks in the portfolio. And broadly, उनकी जो thesis है to buy businesses, buy companies which are becoming better. So they divide companies into three main types. First is innovators, renovators, and pace setters. So innovators, as we know, are companies which are disrupting existing businesses. Extreme example is Tesla. It is disrupting a 120 or 130-year-old automotive engine business, auto business, which are based on IC engines. So it is very slow progress in terms of total volumes, but the disruption is immense. So the market capitalization of Tesla is overtaken that of many large auto companies. ऐसे ही Airbnb है, it's unlisted, many companies are unlisted, but they are disrupting existing business models and they are improving their operations. Second is renovators, who are also improving, but they had gone into a problem. I mean, either because there was too much of competition in their industry and their operating margins had gone down, or there was a problem in raw material supply, the price of raw material gone up, so their margins had been impacted, growth was limited. But they have either cut costs, they have become more efficient, they have become lean and mean, they are doing better. So these companies, the market rewards them. These are called renovators. And finally, companies which are pace setters. So companies who are regularly doing good. So if you see the photograph attached, this is a marathon race. These are in a marathon, you don't run very fast. You do consistently. You are running for 2 hours, 2.5 hours consistently. Now that is the point. So these are pace setters, are company who are compounding every year 8, 10, 12% every year. ऐसा नहीं कि एक साल 20% ग्रो किए, अगले साल 6% ग्रो किए, नहीं. These are companies who are consistent and showing consistent improvement. They are improving their operating margin. So they are consistent growers. So these are the pace setters. They'll be the largest part of the portfolio. A very good example is Microsoft. You know, they keep continuing to do better. They keep improving profit margins. They keep continuous growth. ऐसे ही बाकी जो बड़ी बड़ी कंपनियां, भले ही गूगल हो, अल्फाबेट है, pharma companies हैं, they are all pace setter companies who are consistent compounder growth. So these are the kind of companies we will have. Yeah. Next. And just final on the valuations, what we are seeing is there's a question on the valuation of the US market and the technology companies. So the blue bar जो है इसमें that shows the premium, and जो gray bar है that is the S&P 500 का PE multiple, और जो blue bar है जो top 5 जो बड़े टेक्नोलॉजी कंपनी उनका जो प्रीमियम है उनका PE multiple है. तो हम देखेंगे कि जो पहले फर्स्ट ऑन द राइट इज द मार्च 2000 एंड ऑन द लेफ्ट जो डेटा है वो इस समय का है, अगस्त 2020 का है. तो जो प्रीमियम था टेक्नोलॉजी कंपनीज पे was close to 100%. You see the valuation was close to 100% premium for technology companies compared to S&P 500. So today that premium has shrunk, and these large cap technology companies are showing high levels of growth. Their return on equity is very high. They have no debt. They're cash flow generating. Balki, if you go back to 2000, many technology companies were not generating cash flow. They were all burning cash. इसमें company है वो they are not burning cash. They're generating cash. So all these companies are much stronger. There's really no competition. The only threat is from government action. The government may ask them to be broken up or control their business models. But outside of that, there is no other threat these companies face. Technology companies are an important, and we believe the valuation premium is more reasonable. Again, next slide. So this is this is the compare. You know, we spoke about the bond yields and the P multiples. Because what happens is an investor who's investing into equity, he can invest into a risky bond also. Say if you look at a triple B bond, he can invest into a triple B bond, and look at the P multiple of August 2000, so the right को है. उसमें the triple B bond जो था US में triple B bond was yielding, index was yielding 8.2%. Which means the P multiple, अगर 100 को divide कर देंगे 8.2 से, the P multiple was say 12 times. So, and the market P multiple, the S&P 500 was around 24 times उस समय P multiple. So you were better off investing in the bonds because you're getting a much cheaper, lower risk instrument at much cheaper valuation, 12 time P पे. अब हम आते हैं after the financial crisis, August 2010, August 2010, when the bond yield was say 5.5%. So the P multiple of the bond was 18.2 times, but the market was much cheaper. उस समय क्या था, the S&P equity market had corrected. It was only 11.5 times. So naturally, it made more sense to invest in equity at that point of time. And today, the सबसे left को जो chart है, उसमें भी similar situation, because जो GSEC yield है वो तो 10 year is only 0.6, 0.7% US में. The 3.5% is the bond yield of the triple B bond. So the P multiple of triple B is 29 times, whereas the market P multiple is lower. So relatively, compared to bond, equity market is more cheaper. Again, but it is not as cheap as it was in 2010, which is what we said earlier. So we should get reasonable returns, but not the kind of returns we have seen in the past, but certainly better than bond returns and with relatively low volatility. Of course, there'll be short-term volatility around elections or events, but overall, we should see fair performance from equity going forward. Next. Next, Dharmen will skip this. Yeah. So this slide is just tells you in the US part of the portfolio of 15 stock, 15% of the US portfolio is there. What is in the model portfolio? What is the exposure we'll have to IT? So IT obviously is an important part of the portfolio. Then you have healthcare. It's a diversified portfolio. We have healthcare, IT, others also will be there in the portfolio. So that is the on the presentation. And Dharmen, if you go to the last slide. No, the app, yeah, the previous prior to this. Smart facility. Next one. Next one. Yeah. Okay. So we have two facilities that we are having in the fund. I hope the computer has not been hacked by somebody writing something on this. But anyway, so there are two facilities we have. People invest in one is the smart facility. जो लोगों को लगता है कि we want to invest in a single stage, or I want to invest in. So you can have a smart facility because given the volatility, you want to invest only say part of the portfolio today. You want to invest only 25% of the portfolio today. So what will happen in smart facilities, 75% will be invested in the liquid fund, cash management fund, or अगले 3 महीनों में. So in the next 3 months, you can invest 25% in the funds. So you can spread your investment. Is not going to be in a single allotment. So which is the advantage that you have. So for people who want to invest in a SIP, invest over a period of time, not in a single shot. And finally, we have a My Gain facility, so people can book profits. People can invest. Next, Dharmin. Okay, anyway, so yeah, in My Gain facility, you can say ki how much, people, what happened, say the market chal gaya, I didn't book my profit. So you can upfront say at these levels, I want to book my profit. So you can do that. So we have two facilities for investors who want to spread their investment, not come in a single lot. They can come in 4 installments. That is the smart facility. And you can have a trigger based investing. So you can take the profits that you have. I say 15, 20, whatever percent you can decide for yourself, and the fund will be redeemed. So you get your profits are booked and realized. So Abhishek, I'll stop here and happy to take any questions. Abhishek, you are mute.
Yes, sorry, I think Dharmender was managing it, so that's why. So I think it's been very informative. Just one question that I have regarding the fund, the Principal Large Cap Fund. How have you selected only 15% in the US markets? Is there a rationale behind it? Or
Yeah, so the way it's going to work, because it's a large cap, and okay, it's an Indian equity fund. Large caps in Indian SEBI regulation has to be at least 80%. Has to be in large caps in India. That is a SEBI regulation. And then you will have 1 or 2% cash, and you can't exactly be 80 because 80 is the minimum you have to be. So probably 1 or 2% extra. You will be 82, 83%. So pure. So this is pure large cap. 82, 83% large cap, some cash component, and the rest obviously is going to be the US large cap. That is how we come to the 15% number.
Okay, just a second. I'll just see the chat window also if I have any questions. Um, all right, I think we don't have any questions further, and you've been a great help, Rajat, in helping us sort out the queries that we had for the investors. It's been a very informative webinar for all of us. I hope all the clients and everybody who has joined in this webinar had something or the other, some takeaway or the other from this webinar. And uh, thank you so much for sharing, for giving us your time on a 2nd of October. And been a pleasure, interacting with you in the entire webinar.
Okay, thank you. Sushil, anything from your side? Last comments from Sushil? Sushil has joined us. Please unmute Sushil.
Yeah, just a second.
You got to
you can
unmute
unmute
him.
yourself. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. No, sir. I was just part of the entire presentation, and you covered it all. Abhishek, thank you so much to get us this opportunity, and we could really kind of share our heart out or the thought process behind this concept. And your last comment, though, I would like to slightly add on to that, Abhishek, and that was why this composite of 85-15. So see, this is again trading that fine balance, right? 80% equity large cap you have to keep in India for sure to be tax efficient and all those, to be compliant in that part. Rest 20% you have to keep, let's say 4-5% for cash, and then 15%. And within 15%, if you see, again you see you are really taking the best of the chunk out from S&P 500. So $50 billion plus best of the chunk out. So similarly, if you dissect Nifty 50 here in India, and if you take in Nifty 15 and Nifty 35, you'll see the hell lot of a difference, right? So that is that chunk which really brings the volatility down, and also at the same time gets the portfolio prospects much higher, couple of notches higher. So, and again, that was the room available. So within that, we tried to make full use of that window available. So that way, again, if you look at it, and the slide as shared by Rajat sir, so that optimum combination is helping us both sides. So prospects in terms of better reward scenario, as well as much lesser or muted portfolio volatility. So that's it. And as the hallmark goes with principles investing is that we really do not do anything which is not in overall good or overall interest of the investor's portfolio, and be it the liquidity, be it the diversification, be it the conscious call to not take concentrated cash calls. So there are a few things which are hallmark of our investing style, which you would find across the gamut of schemes that we manage. So with this, thank you once again, and we are at your just a shout away. So anything and everything, you just let us know, and we're more than happy. Thank you otherwise.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sushil, and thank you so much, Dharmender, Rajat, all of you for joining us for this webinar. It's been very informative, and we look forward to having more such interactions with the investors and with our team as well in the future. Thank you so much, guys. So we'll end the webinar over here. Thank you, Rahul. Thank you once again, Dharmender, and thank you, Sushil.
Thank you.
Thank you.